Yep.
Good evening. I'd like to bring this meeting to order on September 17th, 2025. Mayor Porco, would you lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance, please? Thank you, Mayor Porco. Mr. Abrams, may we have the roll call, please?
Yes, Madam President. Mr. Bacon. Present. Mr. Baoki. Present. Mr. DeCosta. Present. Mr. Fosbrink. Present. Mr. Lawrence. Ms. Lewis.
Present.
President Martin.
Present.
We have quorum, Madam President.
Thank you, Mr. Abrams. Moving on to my president's report. The Finance Committee is organizing a town hall meeting on September 24th, 2025, starting at 7 p.m. in the Forest Hills Municipal Building. The topic will be municipal finance and municipal budgeting discussion, and the speaker will be Deborah Grass. Any residents interested in learning how municipal budgets are planned should consider attending this meeting. Forest Hills Council will have their first budget meeting for 2026 at our October 7th, 2025 meeting. These are open to the public, and we welcome our residents to attend. I wish to recognize Councilman Richard Fosbrink, Manager Seth Abrams, and Foreman Mike Smith on their dedication to getting the Asset Essentials work order system up and running, including the addition of the ArcGIS, which is a geographical information system used in storing location data. This will enable Council to make informed, data-driven decisions that will aid in future planning for the Borough of Forest Hills. Today is a red letter day for the Borough of Forest Hills. The Pennsylvania State Mayors Association has selected our own Mayor Frank Porco to receive the Mayor of the Year award, which will be presented, at the end of our business meeting today. Mayor Porco has been a council member, president of council, and mayor for half of his lifetime. He is a guiding force for unity and harmony and always knows just what to say. Please join me in a show of hands for the work and dedication of Mayor Porco. May we have your mayor's report, please?
Thank you, Madam President. Thank you for the kind words. Just a couple of items on my report this evening. So one, just earlier this week, had an opportunity to meet with Chief Williams, and we were discussing ongoing public safety related matters that are going on in the borough. Secondly, myself and members of Public Safety Committee, along with Chief Williams, as well as our borough manager, Seth Abrams, had an opportunity. I always messed this microphone up. My gosh. Met with to discuss parking committee meetings. So we are basically doing an overview of the parking ordinances in our borough, trying to make them a lot more consistent. We're taking things into consideration such as public safety, the ability for emergency vehicles to access streets, and so we just figured that we would unpack the whole thing and kind of do an overview of it. So this is going to be an ongoing process, not snap decisions. We're going to be pulling in the stakeholders, the appropriate stakeholders as part of this evaluation process, including the fire department, including EMS. What we're trying to do right now is just formulate our game plan. Third, on October 5th, which is a Sunday afternoon, between 2 and 4 p.m. We will be hosting a concert in a park. This is a rain or shine event. for members of, so residents of Forest Hills and friends and family, of course. This is going to, so if it's not going to be, if it rains, we will duck out of the band shell and move it inside, but it will be put on by members of the River City Brass Band. So Sunday afternoon, we did check, no Steeler game that day, because that's pretty critical, right? And so it'll be 2 to 4 p.m. And then lastly, on October the 11th, which is a Saturday evening, we will have our annual haunted hayride, which is put on by Forest Hills Public Safety. So this has been an ongoing tradition in our community for well over 25 years. Members of our police department, members of our fire department, our EMS, and volunteers from our, just the borough staff, and I believe I mentioned Public Works, all come together to basically put on a free hayride for all the area children. It runs, I believe our first wagon pulls out at 8:30. It's always a super popular event. There'll be free snacks, hot chocolate, donuts for the kids. And we're just looking forward to continuing that tradition this year once again. And with that, that concludes my report. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mayor Porco. Forest Hills Community Alliance. Ms. Dempsey, please.
Thank you, Madam President. Just a quick report. As Frank said, the band shell is getting put to good use October 5th, so we're very happy about that. And also fellow FHCA board member Patty DeMarco, who will hopefully soon be our next mayor, has reserved several Fridays in 2026 to start a second Fridays tradition here in Forest Hills, much like the first Fridays at the Frick. So we're looking forward to that. For the you all know that we received a grant, $125,000 from the state. That's for two feasibility studies. One is for the transformation of Ardmore Boulevard, and the other is for the creation of an innovation park over here in the parking lot. So we are currently working on the RFP draft. We hope to have that out sometime in mid to late October, and we hope to have responses from firms by December and January that we can start looking at. Looking forward to working with council on both of these projects. And lastly, I will say on behalf of FHCA that we are thrilled that our board member, Mayor Frank Porco, is being honored this evening. We are proud to serve alongside him, and no worries, we are going to keep him quite busy after he retires from being mayor. Thanks.
Thank you. Mr. Abrams, may we have your manager's report, please?
Thank you, Madam President. Council does have my report from our last meeting. It's on file. Just some things to note. As you talked about, Madam President, we are well into, on the administrative end, the budgeting season. So there's a lot of time and energy being spent on that to make sure that we'll be in good shape for 26 and on forward and ready to present to council at the coming meeting. As always, I also talk about the tax collections, which are still coming in at this point quite slowly, but we are right about at 99% of where we plan to be. So that is good news. And that concludes my report.
Thank you, Mr. Abrams. Chief Williams?
Thank you, President Martin. If you may have seen your savvy citizen this morning, I sent out a message about an incident that occurred overnight last night where we had some vehicles taken. I will say that at least we were able to apprehend a couple of suspects on this, and that was done without any harm to anyone, which was good. Again, these problems do happen. You know, people drive around at night and they look to do things like this. It's happened in multiple communities in our area. Again, we appreciate what the neighbors did in this case. They called immediately. They didn't wait till the next morning to say, oh, well, we heard something, but we didn't look. In this case, they called immediately. We responded immediately, and that's how the positive ending happened in this case. So again, we really appreciate the public involvement where they call us when they see something or hear something right in their neighborhood, maybe right outside their door. Secondly, I wanted to report on the Speedy Mart robbery that occurred about 3 weeks ago. We made an apprehension in that case as well, so that one's cleared off the board. Again, we appreciate all the help we get from the public. And our officers are very diligent in their work. They're out there, they're doing their job, and they're making these arrests because of the effort that they put into it and the time they spend out on the road. So again, thank you all, and again, thank my officers for doing a great job. That's all I have.
Thank you, Chief Williams. Mr. Corbel, do you have the solicitor's report?
But no public report this evening, Madam President.
Thank you. Moving on to the other committee or board reports. Mr. Bacon, is there anything to report?
Not this month.
Mr. Bioki?
No report.
Okay, well then we're going to move on. It's hard for me to tell with so many people here. Is anybody here for public comment? Or are we just celebrating Mayor Porco? Well, it looks like we're celebrating Mayor Porco. So we will move on then to the regular meeting. In Mr. Lawrence's absence, Mr. Bioki, would you do ops and policy, please?
Thank you, President Martin. I move to approve the minutes from the August 5th and August 20th, 2025 meetings.
Second.
Is there any comment or questions? May we have a voice vote? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Second motion is to approve the of Lauren Heidenfelder to the Environmental Advisory Council.
Second.
Any comments, questions? May we have a roll call? Not a roll call, I'm sorry. Voice vote, thank you. All in favor, say aye. Thank you.
I move to approve the Borough Communications Policy, which is included in your agenda.
Is there a second?
Second.
Any comments? May we have a voice vote, please? All in favor, say aye.
Aye. I move to approve the advertisement of an ordinance expanding archery hunting to non-residents and prohibiting the feeding of wild animals.
Second.
I wanted to just comment on this. This change in the ordinance was due to the recommendation of the USDA that did our deer culling. Any comments then? Okay. May we have a voice vote, please? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
I move to approve the modifications to the borough's rules for council meetings, which includes the public comment policy as well, which is included in your agenda.
Is there a second?
Second.
Any comment? May we have a voice vote, please? All in favor, say aye.
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 That concludes operations and policy.
Thank you, Mr. Bioki. Moving on to finance, Ms. Lewis.
President, I am the treasurer's report is included in your packet, as well as a summary of the August bills totaling $235,038.06. I'd like to make a motion to approve the August bills.
Second.
Thank you. Are there any comments? May we have a voice vote, please? All in favor, say aye. Thank you, Ms. Lewis. Moving on to borough property. Anything to report, Mr. Bacon?
Madam President, I have no motion this month. As a very brief general report, the Coke Park and Woodside steps are still in progress, and any residents interested in the borough steps are encouraged to attend next month's Borough Property Committee meeting on October the 14th, as we will be heavily discussing borough steps and shortcuts. That concludes borough property.
Thank you. Moving on then, Mr. DeCrosta, anything for planning and zoning?
I have nothing to report this month, Madam President.
Thank you. Then, Public Works, Mr. Fosbrink.
Thank you, Madam President.
I move to authorize the manager to execute the winter services agreement with Allegheny County for the following winter seasons: 2025, 2026, 2026, 2027, and 2027 to 2028.
Second.
Any comments or questions? May we have a voice vote, please? All in favor, say aye. Aye.
Those are all the motions we have. Is there anything, do we have anything from our engineer that we're supposed to talk about? I'm sorry.
I was hoping we could get some information, if that's okay with you, Mr. Fosbrink,
Oh,
about the
absolutely.
3 bids.
Oh, yes. Dalton, I'm sorry. Could you answer the question about the bids that are out?
Gladly. So just to make everyone appraised, these are going to be going to the respective committee meetings for consideration at next month's meeting. But we did have 3 bid openings that I at least wanted to provide an update on as they're relevant. So the 3 bids, the first bid we had opened was for the first of the PRP projects as part of the MS4 program. This is part of the necessity to remove a bunch of grit and dirt and everything from getting into the stormwater and thus ending up in creeks. So we did have 4 companies submit a bid for the first project. The low bidder for that one did come in basically right on budget, right about 130,000, came right in on the dollar amount. And that bid was submitted by Cronin Enterprises, a company that we have worked with before, and I am personally working with on another project. So I don't see any issue with us recommending that bid following discussion at the next committee meeting for next month's business meeting. The second bid I would like to bring up is for the pool building renovations. So just as a quick reminder on that, the borough did receive about $650,000 in grant funding to rehabilitate the pool building. So this contract was put together based on the scope of that grant. We only received a single bidder whose base bid price came in at $900,000, well above the grant dollar amount, with a couple other add alternates in there that would have raised the price further. So based on what we saw there and what we had been expecting, there's going to be discussion at the next committee meeting with regards to that, to recommend rejection of that bid. And basically see what we can do to try to rebid it and actually get it down closer to what was actually awarded part of the grant funding. The third and final bid that was opened was related to the acquisition of the bridge equipment for the park project. So we originally had this number. The original number that came in from manufacturer when this was budgeted, I'd like to say maybe about a year ago, was around 25 to 30,000. And we only had a single bidder for that bid opening that came in at about 52,000. So it is high, but considering we only had a single bidder and this is the third bid for that, with each time the price going progressively down, LSC will be bringing some recommendations and discussion related to that at the next committee meeting to discuss the possibility of awarding that acquisition as bid. But I'll discuss further at the next committee meeting. So that's what I had related to bids. I had a couple other things, but I can bring that up in the old business section.
We'd be happy to hear them now if you don't mind.
Okay. So since I know there are a lot of residents present as well, to give a couple updates on where a couple projects are at. We did receive an update from the contractor for the Avenue B stormwater project. They did complete a couple of concrete punch list items last week, and they are currently scheduled in about a week and a half. Of the date they gave was September 27th to come in and finish the asphalt down on Avenue B to correct those couple areas. So I would anticipate that we should hopefully be able to finally move that contract to close out at next month's meeting. Close that one, as well as the Sherrill Drive stormwater project as well, which is where we had a concrete resident complaint. I was also made aware that just this evening before the meeting, that the regionalization project, the contractor is currently anticipating coming in approximately 2 weeks to do the televising under the base bid. And once that televising is complete, we will be reviewing the videos to see if the add alternates for lining will be necessary. And that is all to comply with Alcosan for takeover of those sections of sewer as part of regionalization. And the final thing I wanted to just note for tonight for now was with regards to the road program for this year. We anticipate the contractor moving in the next probably 2 weeks. This contractor was awarded a road program over in Wilkins as well. And basically they plan to start in Wilkins and then move their equipment over here and then basically, kind of back and forth at Mill and Wilkins, come over here and mill while they're dropping asphalt in Wilkins, then come over here. So that's where we are at with that. And I know that there are some timing there that we're looking at with regards to two potential add-on items to that related to speed humps and status of Decatur. So the hope is that the contractor will get those fairly quickly. So hopefully when we come down towards the end of October, we should be able to discuss at that committee meeting whether or not those will make financial sense to be added in to the contract as bid. And I believe that is what I have for my report and my updates.
Thank you, Mr. Mack.
Mr. DeCosta.
Mr. Mack, I just wondered, what date do we need to start renovations on the pool facilities if we want to have it ready for next summer?
I would say that is something that can be like construction starting in the winter time. Is your pool open May?
Memorial Day, yeah.
Memorial Day? Okay, so I believe, I don't have that contract right in front of me, but I believe the contract is for 90 days of work.
Oh, okay.
So when you include some time for punch lists and punch list items and any cleanup, I'd probably say that as long as that project is awarded in like January, the timing should allow for execution of necessary documents and the work to be completed.
Thank you.
That concludes our report, Madam President.
Thank you, Mr. Fosbrink. Lastly, Mr. Bioki, any reports for public safety?
Thank you, President Martin. I have no motions or reports this evening.
Thank you very much. Then, is there any old business anyone wishes to discuss? Any new business? Well, then at this time, gentlemen, if you would come up, please, Mayor Porco.
Good evening, members of council, mayor, officials, employees, Forest Hills Borough, guests and visitors. My name is Jim Nowak, and I am the mayor of Whitehall Borough here in Allegheny County. I have the privilege of serving as the president of the Pennsylvania State Mayors Association. It is in my role as president of the Pennsylvania State Mayors Association that I'm here this evening. Pennsylvania State Mayors Association is the largest association of mayors in the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania. It is composed of borough, city, and home rule township mayors and is not affiliated with any municipal association. As I like to describe it, the Pennsylvania State Mayors Association is an organization of mayors, by mayors, and for mayors. It represents, educates, and advocates for all Pennsylvania mayors. The Pennsylvania State Mayors Association is governed by a 22-member executive board headquartered here in Allegheny County. One of the more important functions of the Pennsylvania State Mayors Association is to recognize outstanding mayors. We do this with 2 awards. One award is honorary and the other is competitive. The honorary award is one that the Pennsylvania State Mayors Association bestows periodically on mayors who have given many years of service to their municipalities. The older competitive award, known as the Mayor of the Year Award, has been given every year for 37 years to exceptional mayors nominated by their municipalities. The greatest honor that anyone involved in any endeavor can receive, whether that endeavor is business, the nonprofit sector, or government, is to be recognized by his or her peers. Who knows better what it takes to be great than those intimately involved with the endeavor? So when the process for determining the honor is competitive, the recognition is even more special. The Mayor of the Year of the Pennsylvania State Mayors Association was selected by a 7-member committee, nominated by me as president for approval by the executive board. And because this award is so highly coveted, it is incumbent on me to make certain that the process of selecting the Mayor of the Year is as fair as possible. To ensure geographic diversity, I nominated 1 mayor from each of the 6 regions of Pennsylvania recognized by the Pennsylvania Department of Community and Economic Development, plus 1 additional mayor. And of the 7, there were 6 borough mayors and 1 city mayor. 5 of the members were on our executive board and 2 were not. 2 of the members were themselves mayors of the year. The Mayor of the Year committee reviewed 6 nominations and made their choice. With me today is Mayor Scott Funk of Manheim Borough in Lancaster County, the chair of the Mayor of the Year committee, who will tell you more about the process and represent the award that was secret on the night of the banquet at our annual conference, but is no secret in this room tonight.
Thank you, Mayor Nowak. Give me a second here to get set up. Very honored to be here tonight to honor your mayor. Like Mayor Nowak said, my wife and I traveled from Manheim in Lancaster County, so we had a nice little journey out here today. Before I get started, I do want to recognize other mayors that have showed up here in support. Of course, we have from Whitehall, Mayor Jim Nowak. White Oaks Mayor Ina G. Martin wanted to be here this evening, but she isn't feeling very well, so she didn't show up. And Betsy Stevek from, is it Pittram? Pittram, yeah. She was with us this evening. We had dinner beforehand, and she had other commitments. I think Mayor Betty Copeland from Bridgeville, you're here? Yeah, there is. And from Braddock Hills is Jack Brown here. From Turtle Creek, we have Mayor Adam Forgy this evening. And then from Braddock, we have Delilah Lennon Winstead. Is she here to see? And then from Rankin, Jaleesa McDonald. I don't know if she made it or whatever, but everybody showed up. I'd like to thank you for coming in support tonight. I want to get started with what a beautiful week this has been, you know, from the weather, everything we've had, and traveling out here. My wife and I, we had, like I said, a nice trip. And, you know, of course, it's a great week because we're here to honor Mayor Frank Porco. And the cherry on top was the fact that Notre Dame football started their season 0-2. I'm very happy about that. I'm a Penn State fan. So, Mayor Nowak explained the makeup of our committee. And we met, our conference was in middle of July in Harrisburg. And back in June, we got all the nomination letters and we went through them. And what we do is we kind of, we list them in order, our first, second, and third choice. And then we get together in a Zoom call. And it always happens that the mayor of the year is, most of them, the mayor of the year is already at number 1 or number 2. At worst. Some years it's very easy, other years it's very difficult. This year's was a pretty easy one. Your mayor stood out, and you know that's why we chose him. I'll get started. We get the nomination letters, but what was unique about Mayor Porco's nomination is he had about 16 or 17 letters of support, We have never had that before. We've maybe had 2 or 3. So we're going through, all of these letters of support, and I have to come up with a speech for the night of the conference for the presentation. And I try not to say him or her. I don't want to give that away. I try not to say the municipality, but I know there's going to come a point, that the mayor is going to realize that we're talking about, him in this case. So what I ended up doing when I wrote my little speech out is I took a little bit from everybody's letter to a comment. There were a lot of comments that were similar, but I just kind of came up with this, and I'll read it to you. This is what I read at the conference. This year's choice for the Pennsylvania State Mayor of the Year is very beloved in the community. Is that a fire siren?
Yeah.
Okay.
That's in celebration of me.
Yeah. Does it go off, or should I hold on for a second? Or?
No, just go.
Let's go. Okay. Please talk. This mayor is literally in service of others. This mayor is a strong, dedicated leader and a very hands-on mayor. This mayor also is an innovator of projects to support and help the police department. The mayor is a lifelong resident of the community and has championed transparency, inclusion, sustainability, and commitment to public safety and the building of police and community relationships and programs for youth development. This mayor helps organize, this is about where he, I think, started figuring out that it was him. The mayor helps organize the summer concert and movies in the park, which we talked about earlier, along with the 4th of July Community Day and also the Lights Up the Hill event for the winter holidays. The mayor also helps organize the annual Halloween hayride and Memorial Day celebrations. The mayor also is very involved in the planning for the net zero combined municipal office and police department, which we were in right now, including solar and geothermal systems and state-of-the-art stormwater management system. This mayor is also very instrumental in the process of having an all-hybrid police vehicle fleet, including an electric police vehicle. So you can see that this mayor definitely knows the heartbeat of the community. And it is with all the achievements that have been mentioned tonight that we are proud to name this year's winner of the 2025 Pennsylvania State Mayors Association Mayor of the Year from the Borough of Forest Hills, Mayor Frank Porco.
You guys don't mind, I'm going to return to the day so I can actually face the crowd while I'm speaking to you, so you're not staring at my back. Just give me 1 second here. So I think I'm the last guy standing between you and some coffee and cake across the street, so I'm going to try and keep this brief. But I wrote down some remarks just to kind of keep me on track. First of all, I can't tell you how humbled I am to be standing here tonight and accepting the Pennsylvania Mayor of the Year award. When I first stepped into public service in Forest Hills, I never imagined the journey would bring me here. To the executive board and the nominating committee of the Pennsylvania State Mayors Association, thank you for this honor. It means more to me than I can put into words. My political journey in Forest Hills has always been about people. And from the day I first attended a council meeting as a young 23-year-old, just wanting to understand how decisions were made in our community, to the first time I sat at the table as a council member, and ultimately to the honor of serving as mayor. It has been a journey, and it's been shaped by friendships and collaboration and an enduring love for our town. And I've been blessed to work alongside colleagues on council, past and present, who care deeply about Forest Hills. And I've always carried with me the example set by the mayors who came before me, who showed that leadership is really all about service. This moment would not have been possible without several special people, and I just want to take an opportunity to thank them. Chief Chuck Williams, first of all, thank you for nominating me. Your belief in me and your steady leadership in our community has been a true gift. And to Annette Dietz, where are you, Annette? Are you in the room? You've got to be here somewhere. Or maybe you're across the
She's at
way,
the
getting
lodge.
everything ready. Your tireless work to pull together the nomination pack was just extraordinary. And I know it was no small task, as evidenced by the amount of letters of support that you pulled together. And I'm just so very grateful. And to everyone who took time to write letters of support, many of you are in the room tonight. Please just know I took an opportunity to read all of them, and your words meant so much to me. And I read them not as letters about me, but as reflections of the community that we've all built together. Being mayor has also given me a deep appreciation for something that I think that we sometimes all take for granted, and that is the incredible men and women who keep our community safe and supported and thriving every day. Forest Hills is truly blessed with the best public safety services anywhere. Our police department, with their professionalism and dedication, worked tirelessly to protect us. While we were all sleeping, they were running down some guys who jacked a car on Atlantic Avenue and brought them to justice, as Chief Williams indicated in his report earlier. We take that for granted. Our fire department, always ready to answer a call. They are heroes in every sense of the word. Earlier this year, when we had a storm that was probably a 100-year storm in our community, those guys were out working all night, knocking on doors, making sure people were safe. Our EMS, Woodland Hills EMS, they are compassionate, they're skilled, and they're steady in moments of crisis. They bring comfort when it's needed most. And our Public Works Department, they are often unsung heroes, but they are absolutely essential. They keep our roads clear, they keep our neighborhoods clean, and our town running smoothly. I can't tell you how many people have told me that they literally route their way around the community during a snowstorm to make sure they take advantage of the Forest Hills roads because they know it'll be down the block within 20 minutes of a snowfall. So together, they are the backbone of this community. And I just want to say from the bottom of my heart, thank you. You guys make Forest Hills an extraordinary community. Now, being mayor does come with some levity and fun. I'll never forget the first time I actually got a piece of mail addressed to me as mayor. It came addressed to the Honorable Frank Porco. And as I walked into the house, I held that up proudly and decreed to my wife and children that henceforth, I would like to be referred to as the Honorable, or Your Honor for short. Just say my wife did her duty and very quickly and very firmly told me where to place that idea. But it was a good reminder at the time. Public service should never be about the title. It should be about the work. And then my favorite part of the job, interacting with children and kids and teenagers. And every now and then, a child will just ask the most innocent of questions, like, hey man, where's your limousine? And where are your bodyguards at? Or do you think we can put my mom in a jail cell? That's one of my favorites. And I always laugh because, as all of you know, the closest thing to a mayoral motorcade in this town is maybe finding a parking space out in the Borough building parking lot if it's a busy night. But I love those questions from the youth of our community, because it reminds me that even in a small town like Forest Hills, young people see the mayor as something important, and that makes me take that responsibility even more seriously. President John F. Kennedy once said, of those to whom much is given, much is required, and public service is a responsibility, and it's also an honor. And every time I've tried to make a tough decision as mayor, I've remembered that truth, and it has always kept me grounded. I'd like to take a moment to honor a few more people that are important in my life. And, you know, I would not be who I am or where I am today without my parents, Frank and Cecilia Porco. Mom and Dad, your guidance, your principles, your sense of right and wrong have always been my compass. And even when challenges were tough, I could hear your voices in the back of my mind reminding me, be fair, treat people the way you want to be treated, and make sure you always put the people of this community first. My wife and children, you have walked this path with me. You've made some sacrifices along the way. There's a lot of times that I missed a practice or a sporting event or missed helping people with their homework or even just dinner around the table because sometimes duty calls and you've got to be where you're needed. I just want to thank you for your patience and your love and your understanding and your support. This award belongs to you just as much as it does to me. I could not have done this without your support, so thank you. To my friends and neighbors, thank you for always being there with encouragement or advice, sometimes unsolicited, but nonetheless appreciated. And sometimes just a smile or a wave when you're running through town and we bump into each other. You don't know how much that means to me because sometimes when you're in this position, you feel like you've got the weight of the world on your shoulders. And those little nods of encouragement or waves are just what you need at that time to kind of give you a pick me up or a little boost of energy. As that kind of support has carried me through more than you guys will ever know. And finally, to the people of Forest Hills, you are all what makes all of this worthwhile. Forest Hills is such a wonderful town. It is the best kept secret in the eastern suburbs. And it's full of history and character and heart. And it's where neighbors still look out for one another, where families put down roots for generations sometimes, and where community truly means something. Forest Hills will always, always be a special place in my heart. And while stepping away as mayor is not easy, please know that my commitment to this community is never going to waver. And I will always be here ready to serve however I can when needed. So in closing, just thank you again for this honor. Serving Forest Hills has been the absolute privilege of a lifetime. And I will carry this chapter of my life with gratitude, humility, and pride forever. Thank you. I think we have a meeting to wrap up.
Not yet. Senator Jay Costa, did you want to say a few words, sir? You didn't see they were coming in, Frank.
Get our state senator a premier seat and
Borough.
Congratulations, and certainly worthy of that award.
Aw. Representative Abigail Salisbury, would you come up, please? Okay, so after that, I move to adjourn the meeting by acclamation. Are there any objections? The meeting is adjourned. Thank you all.